在上集的故事中，2005年的时间线上，约克探员路过了偏僻的小镇勒卡雷，在这里开始调查一起神秘莫测的案件——丽丝·克拉克森分尸案。在旅店中，他遇到了一个提示他线索的巫毒祭司，间接的为他明确了调查线索的方向。接下来，他即将去往储藏着尸体的食品仓库，开始正式的调查。
Never a choice when somebody needs you, you can't turn away. You're their only lifeline, just a hero, a bullet for hire, working alone. Always a voice, a cry in the darkness, an echo of pain.That's been long forgotten, but it haunts me, my destiny, to be alone. There's a time when you see life for what it's gotta be. You should know they'll destroy you.Call to me to keep searching, walk alone.
在上集结尾，约克和帕特里夏在巫毒商店中偶遇了脾气火爆的女人加里娜·克拉克森，她正是死者丽丝的母亲。于是约克跟随着她来到他们家族谷仓，通过询问得知，她一直在寻找着一个玩具娃娃。虽然并不能排除她在精神层面有某种障碍，但想要继续调查，就必须帮她找到那个娃娃，这很难不让人联想到她死去的女儿。约克和帕特里夏来到克拉克森冷冻食品仓库，远远就看到了等候在那儿的警长梅尔文。梅尔文很是好奇，作为一名 FBI 探员，约克为什么两手空空的来了？于是约克解释自己是在香尔良度假期间临时赶来的，除了酷炫的滑板车、手提箱之外，就没什么值钱的东西了。于是梅尔文给了约克一把特殊的手枪，这把枪是猎捕鳄鱼用的麻醉枪。很显然，这个小镇民风淳朴，然而这里的动物非常的野，过去还曾经有过鳄鱼吃小孩的事件，可能是打开了新世界大门。那之后，这里的鳄鱼开始越来越放肆，甚至大摇大摆的在马路上遛弯。除了鳄鱼之外，还有各种充满攻击性的动物。说来说去，似乎跑题了，差点忘了今天是来调查尸体的。
Melvin, I couldn't help but notice the name on the side of that truck. This facility is connected to the victim, isn't it?
Oh, right. Yeah. I reckon I better start from there. I'm gonna tell it to you straight right from the beginning, Mr. York.As you guessed, this warehouse is run by the Clarksons. The victim's father, Danny Clarkson, is the one who manages the whole place. Okay, but why did he choose to store her body in his own warehouse, right? Well, that's because there ain't no other place to store it. Our town has a clinic inside a church, but no morgue. Whenever someone kicks the bucket, we just bury him in the graveyard right outside of town.But not this time. We got a murder on our hands this time. We need to give Lisa's body an autopsy and keep it stored, right? So we had no choice but to rent out a corner of this warehouse.
I see. So that's what led to the ingenious choice to store the victim's body in a facility that her family owns.
Anywho, this is where the real story begins. Truth is, a few days before you got here, Lisa's body went missing.
Missing?
Yeah. All of a sudden, poof.
Did you leave the warehouse unlocked?
I most certainly did not. I locked the whole place up and made sure no one could get inside. No one stole the original key, and I couldn't find any fingerprints at the scene.
So, in other words, this is a locked room mystery.
The body of a beautiful young girl walks at mid... Hey! all right, CLG. Reckon I should have told you about this earlier when you first said you wanted to come here. It just didn't seem like the time or place as I remember. Anywho, how about we call it a day and head back to my office? You can go through all the files there.
No, thank you. This is what I came to investigate.
But Lisa's body isn't here anymore. You sure?
That doesn't bother me one bit, Melvin. You see, I met a skeletal gentleman on my way here, and he was kind enough to give me an oracle.
You holding up okay, CLG? You sure you don't want to wait outside?
I'll be fine, Daddy. Just make sure you don't take your eyes off of him. He's so selfish and inconsiderate. I'm still not convinced he's actually a real FBI agent. Look, he's talking to himself again.
Zack, this is the ambiguous zero, the deep freeze. Let's hurry up and find that flying serpent, shall we?
终于踏进了这座神秘的庞然大物，前一秒仿佛还在火海，而这一刻则像是跌入了冰川之下。原本存放于此的尸体竟然人间蒸发，不禁让人心存疑惑。倘若不是有人在内部做了手脚，那么只有可能是某种超自然力量作怪了。
This place always gives me goosebumps, no matter how many times I come here.
Yes, it's quite the funhouse. Truly a dazzling place. Meat entertainment. That's the only way to describe it. Woven together by life, frozen in time, a visceral, musical...
Symphony. We eat all this in order to survive.
Yes, truly a symphony. Life and death, resonating together.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Cool? Whoa now, CLG. Since when were you interested in this kind of stuff?
What are you so surprised for, Daddy? I'm more mature than you are. I've seen way more realistic corpses on CSI, you know.
Oh, man.
At first, Zack, I was shocked by the notion of storing a victim's body alongside food. But as I gaze upon this hanging garden, I realize it's just another scene of violent, depraved murder. Yes, all we need to do is change our point of view, and things will expose themselves in utterly new ways.
不知为何，在进入了这个建筑之后，警长梅尔文就被恐惧感包围了。
Don't let it get to you, Daddy. Whew, everyone has at least one thing they're afraid of. Even you, right, Agent York?
Something I'm afraid of?
Yeah, that's right. You gotta have at least one thing. Like clowns.
Clowns are so funny. How could anyone be scared of them?
Zombies.
Love them.
A bucket full of worms.
I could squeeze them with my bare hands.
The sound of screeching glass.
Doesn't bother me.
Then...
They cling to your skin like putrid leeches, robbing you of much more than your vitality. The wet socks.
Melvin, you're a genius.
这家仓储公司由几个巨大的仓库构成，越往内侧走，温度越低。
Melvin, I'd like to take this opportunity to ask you a personal question. In the hotel parking lot, when I first met you, the picture you had on your dashboard happened to catch my eye. Was that your wife?
Oh, her? Yeah, that's my lady, all right. Candy. Her name's Candy. The prettiest girl in town, which makes me the happiest boy. A shooting star landed in a rural town, right on top of a man who now has a meteor struck hard.
You always keep her photo with you?
You bet I do. The truth is, Candy's a little sick right now. She can't even leave the house no more. So I always keep her photograph with me. Kinda feels like we're always together, you know?
I see. You care for your wife a great deal. But this means that...
Yeah, that's right. My mama had me before she married Daddy. But it don't matter. He's still my real daddy to me.
Oh, thank you, CLG. And you're my pride and joy.
Well, Zach, isn't this a heartwarming scene? But there's one thing I just can't get out of my mind. Don't you think that photograph looked a bit too old? Perhaps Candy is already... No, let's not think about that. It might be a private matter, just like you, Zach.
调查了片刻，终于找到了丽丝·克拉克森尸体原本存放的地方。想要找到尸体消失的真相，就必须调查这里的每一个角落。
They stored the victim's body in a cold storage warehouse operated by her family. I'd love to shake the hand of whoever came up with that one.
Hey, Agent York. Did you just come here to laugh at rural officers who are doing the best they can? We don't have any special facilities like you people. What else did you expect us to do, huh? Don't compare us with city folk. This is Lucare. Or maybe you're just disappointed that you didn't get to see the bloated, decomposing corpse of a young girl.
Sorry, you're right. I went a bit too far just now. But don't misunderstand. I honestly think it's a fantastic idea. I'd never try and bully your daddy.
Better not.
Thank you for understanding.
OK， 那么现在就由伟哥给各位分析一下事发现场。这个房间中最高处的吊灯上有4个巨大的指纹痕迹，显然非常的不科学。但这么高的地方，身高没有个3米是不可能摸到的。一旁的货箱中不知道究竟装了什么东西，可能是龙虾或者是什么海里的玩意儿。这些箱子长得差不多，位置差不多，箱子来了又走。过去的箱子和未来的箱子处于同一时空。薛定谔的箱子。仔细观察地面，可以发现一组脚印儿。这脚印非常的奇怪，很像人类的，但明显又过于巨大。如果是某种冰河时代的大脚野人，还说得过去。虽然尸体消失了，但是不得不说，把尸体存放在这儿是非常合理的。冰台上的痕迹很明显是被尸体袋子摩擦过的。想要在这里拖走一具袋子中的尸体，那么罪犯的力量一定得非常的大。
Seems like our flying serpent isn't here. Is this everything, Melvin? There aren't any other rooms in this warehouse? No special rooms?
Well, there is the luxury foods warehouse.
Luxury foods? Why didn't you say so earlier?
Just thought you wanted to see where the body... I just thought you were only interested in warehouse number 2. Besides, it's underground, so it's even colder than this. You sure you really want to go down there? You could darn well freeze to death. All life will come to an end in the icebound zone. You feel me?
Let's head there at once. I'm sure that must be where we're meant to go.
But what about searching for Lisa's body?
All we need to do is find a 10-foot tall man with monstrous strength. That giant knows where she is.
10 foot tall?
But finding the flying serpent is more important right now. Now please, guide me to the luxury foods warehouse at once. These luxury foods are most likely being used in local Cajun cuisine. I'm so excited to see what we'll find. Aren't you, Zach?
本想继续调查最冷的那个仓库，然而警长梅尔文并没有拿到这间仓库的钥匙。按他的话来说，能得到调查许可已经非常不容易了。这个克拉克森家族非常厌恶警方势力，而且作为美国建国时期元老的后代，显然对于肤色的偏见是根深蒂固的。那么接下来约克就必须自己偷偷溜到传达室，值班室搞到钥匙。这一路上仿佛来到了斯蒂芬金《闪灵》结尾中的迷宫里，推来推去，终于在值班室借到了仓库的钥匙。
Zach, look at that thermometer. 0 degrees Fahrenheit, or minus 17.7 degrees Celsius. This is the ambiguous zero.
Hey, Avery! Open the damn door, Avery! It ain't no use, Mr. York. Once Avery starts working on something, that's all he sees. He just tunes out everything else. We'll have to wait until he finishes and comes out to us, I reckon. Or we could come back tomorrow.
I disagree, Melvin. Time may be on our side, but that doesn't mean we should waste it. You gave me Mr. Alligator precisely for moments like these, didn't you?
Wait, Mr. York! Those tranquilizers may be non-lethal, but it's still dangerous to use them on humans.
Of course, Melvin. I never said I was going to shoot him.
You're gonna shoot some meat to get his attention. I'm right, ain't I?
This is Mr. York, an agent from the FBI.
Hi, Avery. I'm Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please, call me York.
York? You a smarty pants, huh?
He's shyer than he looks. Come on, just settle down, Avery. Tell him what this here place is for.
Lots of expensive food here. Yup. Mighty precious to the Clarksons, so I gotta guard it.
I see. So you're this area's keeper?
Oh, I help with the research, too. I do like research.
Research? What are you talking about, Avery? This doesn't look like a lab to me.
Oh, ain't no lab. It's a warehouse. Ain't no lab. Smarty pant scientist does the research. I ain't no smarty pants, no.
He's a bit slow in the mind, but he ain't a bad guy. Oh. Your story about the giant who carried Lisa out. Don't tell me you think it's him. I mean, it's true that he's free to come and go as he pleases in this warehouse, but...
No, as far as I can tell, he's just a bit over 6'5". The one who moved Lisa's body must be at least 10 feet tall. He's clearly too short.
Too short, huh? Well, if you ever happen to find a man who makes him look small, I'd sure like to meet him.
Lise.
What? Hey, cut it out!
Lise? Why?
Avery, that's not Lise.
Not Lise?
This is Melvin's daughter, and my precious assistant. Unfortunately, Elise is no longer with us.
Lise! Lise! My fault! My fault!
I guess he's sort of like Lise, you know? See, the poor fella's got himself a childlike mind. You know how normal kids tease other kids in order to get attention? Well, with this big lug, sometimes folks who don't know him too well see something and end up calling the police. But I know that deep down, he's got a good heart. Hey, Mr. York, I'll keep him busy, but I'd appreciate it if you'd hurry this particular inspection along. Just holler at me if you find anything. I reckon that'll make it easier for you to go do your thing, yeah?
Melvin, I think you're finally starting to catch on.
这间仓库中存放着数不清的货箱，在祭司的神谕中，那个飞舞的巨蛇到底代表着什么呢？约克调查了片刻，在角落中发现了一个刻有蜻蜓标志的箱子。据说这箱子里边的东西是给克拉克森家族内部供应的。
Ain't no big deal though. You can find those all over town.
Is that so?
Well, yeah. They pretty much run all of this town's major industries. Yeah, I do believe they own just about everything there is to own. So their word is law. They got the whole darn town tattooed with their dragonflies. Can't even walk a few steps without seeing one.
Zack, this dragonfly is our flying serpent. The flying serpent owns this town. They're related to Lise Clarkson, our victim. And Hungan's oracle pointed us toward their family crest. The Clarksons must be deeply intertwined with this case. Melvin, Patricia, I think I've had enough of this frozen world. Let's head back out to that merciless sun.
Whew. So, what do we do now, Mr. York?
Zack and I will take things from here.
Then what should I do?
Tend to your sick wife? I don't know. You're free to do as you please. I'll stop by the sheriff's office when I need your help again.
I suppose that's what I'll do then. It'll sure make Candy happy. But I am the sheriff of this town, so I do intend to get some work done. I know. How about I search for Lisa's body while you're busy?
Not a bad idea. Just be careful that you don't get attacked by a barefooted giant.
Hey, don't scare me like that. Why do you keep talking about that giant anyway? You really think some giant was responsible for all this?
Melvin, don't be silly. Of course I do. Just when I thought you were starting to catch on. Disappointing, to say the least.
But how can you be so sure? I want to see some proof.
Proof number 1. The footprints that led up to where Lisa's body originally was were made with bare feet. None of the prints looked similar to those of common insulated boots, and the arches of the feet were visible. The person who carried out Lisa's body must have had very large feet. I'd say they were at least 16 inches. Proof number 2. I found fingerprints on the cord of one of the hanging lights in the warehouse. The fingerprints weren't aimed up from below. They were coming directly from the side. Clearly, the giant moved the light because it was in his way. He pinched the cord with his fingers. Proof number 3. There was nothing else found in the vicinity where Lisa's body was stored. This means the giant carried her out without dragging her across the floor. But there's only one set of footprints. The only conclusion I can draw from this evidence is that a barefooted giant standing over 10 feet tall carried Lisa's body out. That concludes the entirety of my proof. Any objections, Melvin?
But there ain't no way a human could ever be that tall.
Have you seen every human alive with your own eyes? Well then, you need to forget all your preconceived notions when embarking on an investigation. Whether you come face to face with a 10-foot giant or a skeletal gentleman, you always need to accept everything that comes to you with a clear mind. Do that, and eventually the truth will reveal itself to you. You're a smart kid, I'm sure you understand.
Well, I'll be damned. I'm sorry I ever doubted you, Mr. FBI Special Agent, sir. A sharp eye and flawless observational skills. Uncovering the truth with a heady intuition. I won't ever question you again. Heck, I'll do whatever you say.
That's it, Melvin. I'm glad you finally caught on. Okay, time to go, Patty. You know this town well, so I'd like you to accompany me from now on.
Patty?
中午时分，约克回到旅店中，突然发现自己房间的淋浴竟然坏了，这就不得不寻求专业团队的帮助了。来到前台，根据前台版大卫的解释，这座旅店年代久远，管道系统时灵时不灵，必须得手动拧一拧食堂中的阀门。照做之后还是不灵，于是他把责任推卸给了厨师大卫。鉴于这位老哥一人身兼三职还不串味儿，只能等他扮演厨师时再说了。午后，约克路过警察局时，发现了一辆奇怪的汽车。
So, Mr. York, what do you think of my castle? Pretty cool, ain't it?
没想到身为警长的梅尔文平时还兼职做个体户。他这辆车名为小龙虾，是一个移动式小卖部，任何杂七杂八的东西都可以买到。平时他休息的时候就开着这辆车在小镇中卖东西。这说起来其实我一点也不奇怪，就像我本人平时讲讲游戏故事，抽个空再解读个小电影，心情好的时候再做点这个那个小视频。男人不能自己把自己罩住。不过约克本人很是疑惑，假如身为警长的他在卖东西的时候遇到了抢劫案，会选择怎么做？是先履行警察的职责，还是先卖东西？又好比在警署上班的时候，这辆车被人偷了，他会怎么做呢？不过作为一个如此偏僻小镇中的警长，肯定挣的不算多，也就说明了这小镇基本上没什么可抢劫的。在警署中又遇到了警长身份的梅尔文，战马拼马，他给了约克一个任务，为小镇除害，也就是去消灭那些发疯的野生动物。第一项是消灭一堆杀人黄蜂，这个有点危险。
That melody always gets stuck in my head.
Yes, it's a devilish song, isn't it?
Just be quiet.
完成之后，他又提出要消灭一群伤人的野生恶犬。不知不觉下午5点多了，在今晚10点之前，约克准备在小镇中认认路，于是一路来到那家爵士乐酒吧。
Got a minute?
I'm the bartender here. I ain't gonna stop you from talking to me. This is America, land of the free. So folks just do whatever the hell they want. That's one of the beautiful things about America. Yeah.
FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. But please, call me York. That's what everyone calls me.
A bureau man, eh? You hear about Lise? Yeah.
That I am. Very astute of you. What do you know about her?
No one lives forever. Eventually, all life must come to an end. Yeah.
So you don't know much about her?
The girl I love was her best friend. That's all I know, man.
Sounds like you're deeply connected to this case, then. Why are you giving me the runaround?
Truth bomb number 1. Think good and hard before you reveal yourself to someone you don't know. Just some common sense for daily survival. Yeah. Hey, Bureau man, you change your underwear every day. Yeah. Here's another truth bomb for you. Clean, white underwear without a single stain on it. So pristine it shines. Your day doesn't truly begin until you slip them on. Yeah. Our world's filled with truth bombs. That's about all I can really tell you.
Zach, this man has got a very unique style to him.
I reckon it's about time we stop flapping our gums here, Bureau man. Don't give up the good fight. Yeah. Later.
One last thing. Do you always dress this way? I'm not quite sure how to put it, but you're practically naked.
This is America, land of the free. I'm simply exercising my freedom. And as my fellow American, you need to respect my freedom. Yeah.
这个酒保泽维尔似乎是一个魅力独特的男人。他邀请约克每天下午都来酒吧中喝一杯相应主题的啤酒。1周之后，他会给约克一个独特的东西。到了这一天的夜里，帕特里夏回家了，酒店中的管道依然有毛病。厨子大卫把责任推卸给了服务员大卫。 一身疲惫的约克独自来到了卡彭特夫人的房子前，准备把那个鳄鱼公仔放在他家门口。
Yes. Perfect.
Oh, my dear lost lamb. What are you doing there?
Oh, this? This is all part of the Lise Clarkson murder investigation.
Something important, hmm?
Oh, yes. Very important. I'm FBI Special Agent Francis York Morgan. Please call me York. That's what everyone calls me. But what should I call you?
I'm Tyrone Sanders, pastor of the Lucare Evangelical Church.
And what business does a pastor like yourself have in a place like this?
Well, I live over across the way there.
Do you have an intimate relationship with Mrs. Carpenter?
Why in the world would you suggest such a pitiful thing? Lordy, Lordy. How could I ever become intimate with one who is so devoid of faith? After she lost her husband, she stopped coming to church. All she does all day is bowl. She even pruned the shrubbery in that pitiful fashion. Yes, truly pitiful. And did you see that hideous ox of a dog she owns? Pitiful with a capital P. I tried speaking with her, but she shows no intention of changing her ways. Yes, I fear she never lends an ear when the good Lord reaches out to her. Indeed, I pity her from the bottom of my heart.
So you've been spying on her out of pity?
Spying? I'm merely awaiting the chance to lend her a helping hand. You'd best be careful, too. This town harbors much more danger than you're aware of. If you ever find yourself in need of salvation, feel free to stop by our church whenever you like. Our church also functions as a clinic. Someday, you may need our help.
Zach, did you hear that? Pitiful. Try saying that to someone in the city. They'd instantly slap you with slander or defamation charges. You'd be up to your neck in court papers. I doubt I'll tire of this town anytime soon. We should consider stopping by that church whenever we get a chance.
怎么看这神父也不像一正经人。总之，今天要做的事情都搞定了，可以睡一个好觉了。凌晨时分的小镇似乎不太寻常，果然来到酒店外，发现有些奇怪的东西出现了。
Mr. Alligator, not sure how much help you'll be in this situation, but I guess you're better than nothing. What the? Zach, I don't even need to say it, do I? This is right out of that movie. Videodrome, 1982, directed by David Cronenberg. At the time, it was seen as a hard movie to digest for normal moviegoers, but now it's become a cult classic. I always just saw it as another weird Canadian movie, but this changes everything. My arm and my gun have become one. Now I can really understand what Max was going through.
这些貌似就是勒卡雷夜里的特殊现象，与一代中的雨林镇类似。这些怪物的来源暂且是一个秘密。第二天，约克和帕特里夏约好在餐厅见面。
Sorry for the wait, Patty.
Whatever.
Is Mrs. Carpenter here?
No, she hasn't come in today.
Everything's going according to plan. It's time to knock down the 10 maidens, Zach.
进去之后，果然计划通。球爸卡彭特大妈并没有出现在保龄球赛道旁。
Mrs. Carpenter hasn't come in. For the first time in 10 years. What could it be? I just hoping nothing bad happened to her.
She's fine. You have my guarantee.
Oh, my Lord. I reckon if an FBI agent like you is convinced, then I should be too.
What did I tell you, Patty? Value is a relative thing. We needed to find that figurine, no matter the cost.
You really wanted to bowl that bad? They don't have bowling alleys in the city no more?
Wrong, Patty. I have absolutely no interest in bowling. Tossing a heavy ball at lined-up pins? Where's the fun in that? You can't even call this a sport. It's a game for cavemen. Nonsense. Utter nonsense.
Then can I throw the ball instead?
Absolutely not, Patty. This is part of the investigation. I need to do this myself, no matter how stupid it may be.
You're the one who's stupid. Sure looks like you're having fun to me.
是时候展示我牛逼的球技了。我奶奶告诉我，人和人之间必须要谦虚。我玩真的了，这竟然吸引来了卡彭特大妈。约克连忙装作若无其事的样子与她沟通。
Looks like I finally earned myself a rival.
That was just a stroke of luck, Mrs. Carpenter. Despite how I may seem, I've never been any good at any of the ball-based sports that exist here on our planet.
You said you're investigating the Lise Clarkson incident, yes? In that case, there's something you should know. That poor girl, Lise, she was a druggie, and she was into the really bad stuff.
Red powder.
Oh, no wonder the FBI picked you. You already figured out that much. Well, the reason Lise turned into such a little hoodlum is because of her mother, Galena.
Galena?
Mm-hmm. A mother only in name. Oh, as far as I'm concerned, she's still nothing more than a child herself. Oh, dressing up in fancy clothes, always out on the town somewhere. Children giving birth to children. If these aren't the end times, well, I don't know what is. Oh, and they were always cooped up in that jazz bar. Galena wouldn't know proper parenting if it hit her in the tush.
Zach, the jazz bar. We first heard about it from Patricia. It must be deeply connected with this case. And the red powder. It must be Saint Rouge. Following the Oracle and felling the 10 maidens sure paid off, didn't it?
在询问卡彭特大妈为何今天来晚了时，她表示自己今早收到了去世多年丈夫的启示。原来多年之前，她丈夫还在世的时候，就只送过她一个礼物，也就是那个鳄鱼玩偶。卡彭特女士非常不喜欢那个东西，一直忍着，直到她丈夫去世之后，才把那个东西一同扔到了棺材里。直到今早看到之后，认为丈夫在天堂有话要说，于是在家里对着两个人照片看的时候，发现丈夫的在天之灵告诉她：“我在天堂看着你，不要霸占保龄球赛道了，把机会留给年轻人吧。”于是约克才有机会摸到了保龄球。
When the sun awakens, catch the tip of the baby bear's tail at the false altar. At the entrance to the other world will reveal itself to you.
Zach, it's another oracle. It appears that we're being guided by a mysterious power.
那个巫毒祭司又给了约克一则神谕：当太阳醒来的时候，抓住假祭坛上熊宝宝的尾巴尖儿。信息量看上去非常的大，不过祭坛很明显是丽斯克拉克森尸体被发现的地方，位置在一座桥下。太阳醒来的时候指的是黎明时刻，熊宝宝的尾巴尖很可能代表着北极星。也就是说，这句话按人话来说是黎明时刻，丽斯克拉克森尸体被发现的地方一直往北看。所以也就是说，之后的日子里，约克又要忙起来了。
Zach, let's follow the oracle and head to where Lisa's body was found. I don't know what other world refers to, but I'm sure we'll find out once we get there.
Oracle?
That's right, Patty. This case is a rather complicated one. So Zach and I are following oracles given to us by a skeletal gentleman in order to crack it.
好了，本期的故事就到这个地方了。长得好看的有趣灵魂们，不要忘了给伟哥3连呀！好了，下期视频我要解读电影了。 大家一定要备好足够的辣条，因为下一部电影会是一部非常透心凉的电影。好了，今儿就到这儿了，咱们回见。